What's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Second Passport. Today I'm going to share one innovative way you've maybe never heard or thought about to protect your assets if you were to buy property abroad, right, in a foreign country, in a place like where I live, Ecuador. It's way different than stateside. In the States of US, of course, what people do is they create businesses LLC because it's cheap and easy, and then they put the assets they may own in those different LLCs. Maybe they even have a holding company to manage the properties in the different LLCs as well, kind of an extra layer of protection. And they also have obviously separate bank accounts for their incomes from each property, in case they were to get sued. Now I do prescribe to the theory that rich people don't actually own anything in their name, nor do they want it, right? I think it's the best way to go, and I don't think that strategy should change just because you buy property abroad. Now all of a sudden you have to put it all in your name. And this really hit home a few weeks ago when I was dealing with the IES. It's like the local social security system here in Ecuador, with a fine they levied on me. And basically, when I was talking to the director himself, I'm currently paying off the fine, but I asked him, what if I didn't? Just out of curiosity. And he said, literally, it's not something you want to do. They could freeze with the click of a mouse all your bank accounts in your name here in Ecuador. And they could also freeze your passport for travel, like you can't even leave the country. Now, I do have the 2 passports, hence the name Mr. Second Passport, but so I probably could get around that one, but it's not like I want to, right? It's not a huge, it's a pretty decent sized fine like I covered in a previous video a week or 2 ago, but it's not that bad to just deal with this, so I'm just going to pay it off. But it just goes to show maybe it's best to not have all your assets under your name, especially if you're going to be living here and doing business here, etc. If someone were to come after you, an ex or something like that, or whoever, right? It's just good to say, hey, what are you going to take? I actually don't own anything in my name, but go ahead and try if you want. So, what's the way you can do this? You can buy down here under a foreign LLC, but it gets complicated, right? A lot of extra paperwork, and it's just not a great idea. And creating a local LLC here is just completely out of the question. I've checked into it. It doesn't make any sense at all. There's a huge upfront cost, not like in the States, thousands of dollars to incorporate, and then you have to pay literally hundreds of dollars a month to a lawyer, to a local accountant here who can file the proper paperwork for you that you need to file every month for this new corporation you filed down here locally. So it just doesn't make sense. So what can you do? The simple way I've found is to just do a power of attorney, right, of someone that you can trust in your name, right? And they don't even have to live in Ecuador. In fact, it's probably even better if they don't. And once you have that power of attorney down here, it has to be an unlimited one with no expiration. You can do a special power of attorney, poder, down here, just for a specific transaction, or an open one. So if you do an open one, you can then open bank accounts under this other person's name, buy real estate, whatever it says in the power of attorney itself, you can then do. So then you can then own property in this other person's name, even bank accounts and the like. And sure, you can tell them if you want, but it's not like they'd even know or even care unless you were to obviously inform them of that. But that way, this is one quick, easy way to not have everything in your name in case someone were to come after you. And of course, in a South American country, it's always good to prevent. You don't want to show too much to the local government here because you don't know who is seeing that information on you, right? So you don't want to have too many large bank accounts in your name. You don't want to have too many properties in your name and go crazy with it for obvious reasons that I don't have to really get into here. It just doesn't make much sense. So this is one quick get around. And to do a power of attorney, it's a one-time thing, usually around $100 or so. And you have that document, and all of a sudden you have that power of attorney for that person that you trust down here in Ecuador. And even if the person doesn't travel to Ecuador, it's obviously easier if they're in country. If they're not, they'd have to do you a big favor and go to an Ecuador consulate to do a power of attorney for you under their name in a consulate in their home country. If there is an Ecuador consulate there, they'd have to go to the nearest one and physically sign off. So that's it. I'm Mr. Second Passport. If you like this, don't subscribe and hit the like button below. Take care.